to present you two TNAs conducted in Immersia in Rennes. So far we have conducted 5 TNAs, and the last one was in February with the University of Würzburg in Germany with Gerd Brüder about collision avoidance and distance perceptions, so in fact 2 experimentations. And the second one in last October about BCA in a cave to measure attention bias. So it was with Michael Pereira from Lausanne, Switzerland. So first one about collision avoidance. The context is the study in a large cave and more generally large virtual environment spaces. We can use natural locomotion to explore large spaces, and in this exploration we have perception of visual information from both real, for example our own body, but other objects also, and virtual world. So the question was, is the behavior of the user the same with respect to virtual and real objects? So the experiment was to compare a behavior of obstacle avoidance in our cave and a difference between real and or virtual geometrical objects. So you can see on the picture a big box, and also between real or virtual humans. So the application of the experiment was a simple environment, a black environment with just the obstacle at the center of the cave, a green starting point and a red target, and the user was asked to move from the green point to the red point and to avoid the obstacle. Okay. During the experiment, we had several variables. So the obstacles first, either the box or the human. The nature of the obstacle, either real or virtual. Also the orientation of the obstacle, which can be in front of the user or on a lateral position or presenting its back, and the direction of the trajectory, which can be left to right or right to left. So at the end, the user had to perform different trials with human obstacles. So for the 4 orientations, the 2 natures of human, and 2 directions. And the same for the box, but only 2 orientations because the box was symmetric. During the experiment, we recorded the horizontal position of the head during the walk from 2.5 meters before the obstacle to 2.5 meters after the obstacle. We measured the average walking speed and the speed profile. The deviation from the straight trajectory, so the maximum lateral deviation, and the clearance, which was defined as the minimal distance between the user and the obstacle. And we had also questionnaires about the user. For the experiment, Gerd wanted to validate 3 hypotheses. First one is the user will have different locomotion trajectories with respect to virtual obstacles against real obstacles. And in fact, he expected to add a slower walking speed and larger avoidance distance with virtual obstacles. Second hypothesis, also the subjects will have different locomotion trajectories with humans than with a box, with a greater clearance with human. And the last hypothesis was the orientation of the human obstacle will result in changes in the clearance. So it depends if the human is in front of the user or in the lateral position. But for the box, the hypothesis that was that there will be no difference. So for the experiment, we had 17 participants, with different specificities, and the results. So about the walking speed, it was only influenced by being in real or virtual condition. About the maximum lateral deviation, it was higher in virtual condition and higher with human and higher with 90 degrees orientation. About the clearance distance, so higher in virtual condition, higher again with human, and this time higher with 0 degree orientation. The questionnaires show no differences before and after for sickness and a good level of presence during the experiment. So the conclusion for this experiment is it supports the 3 hypotheses, and in fact Gerd made the same experiment with HMDs, and it was comparable, but with a lower magnitude of differences. And the result is will be presented in next virtual reality VR in next year. Okay, so that's it for the first part of the experiment. The second part was about distance perception in a large cave, because it is important, in particular in the case of obstacle avoidance, to understand this perception of distance and analyze how distance estimation is based with respect to different position either of the user and of the object with respect to the screen. So the method. We presented to the user an object. An object was displayed in front of the user. It was a balloon at the height of the eyes of the user. And the user had time to observe the object to estimate the distance. And when he was confident with its distance estimation, the object was masked, and the user had to make 2 steps either on the left or the right. There was a green arrow to indicate the direction, and the user had to point from the lateral position to the estimated position of the object. So with a triangular calculus, we were able to calculate the position estimated by the user for the object. So during the experiment, we modified the distance of the distance of the user to the screen. It was 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 meters. The object distance of the object to the user, and we tried two different pointing modes, one blind, the one I presented just before, and one with the object still visible. But the experiment focused on the blind pointing. So the user performed 200 trials with the different variables during the experiment. And the recorded data was the estimated distance. About the hypothesis of the experiment, first at zero parallax, so when the object is displayed on the screen, we expected no underestimation nor overestimation of the distance. In case of positive parallax, so when the object is behind the screen, we expected an underestimation of the distance. For negative parallax, we expected an overestimation of the distance to objects. And we last hypothesis, we expected more accurate distance estimation for longer screen distances. So we performed the experiment with 15 participants, and the result show effectively the correctness of the four hypotheses. So significantly more accurate for objects displayed directly on the screen. The difference between zero parallax and negative parallax was in fact very not very important. So at the end, the estimation was acceptable at zero parallax for objects displayed at zero parallax, and acceptable for objects at negative parallax, so objects inside the projection screens, walls. Okay, so that was all for the second experiment. So we observed the difference for the, in particular for the positive parallax, with a strong underestimation of the distance. We observed that the distance perception was optimal around 6 and 7 meter distance from the user. And so the conclusion is when we need a very accurate perception of the distance for a specific object, we have to present it at zero parallax. So this experiment is also presented in a paper in VR, in a short paper. And for the third experiment, the third TNA, it was made by Michael Pereira from Lausanne. It was about BCI, so electrophysiological optical correlate of top-down attention bias in a realistic virtual shooting environment. Okay, so in fact here the idea was to study the attention shifts during sport activity. In particular, when we have a disturbing environment. So the two aims of the experiment were to better understand how cortical processes are impaired by the distracting environment. It was the main goal. And the second one was to find neural markers of successful shots before the shot is actually fired. Okay, so the method, we use a scenario of Olympic virtual shooting. So here you have an image of the application. You can see the real human on the right with a green shirt. This scenario was chosen by the experimenter because it requires a high degree of concentration and no intense physical activity, because physical activity is not compatible with BCI. So during the experiment we had two main variables. First, the distraction. We had either or not virtual opponents and a constant background noise from a crowd, a virtual crowd. So two cases, distraction and no distraction. And the second variable was we could or not measure the score of the user and display it to the user. So it was a reward variable. The user had to perform 40 shots. So we had 4 blocks of 10 shots, so 10 shots with distraction and reward, 10 shots with no distraction and reward, etc. And we had 10 participants for the experiment. During the experiment, we recorded the score of the users and the time spent before shooting, and all the electrophysiological signals which were recording using a 64-channel biosemi system. So you have some pictures of this system at the bottom of the slide, and also to have some information about the finger movements. We had 3 sensors on the arm to track muscular activity at the forearm. For the moment, the data is still under analysis. We have just some measurement of the time before the shooting in milliseconds, but nothing interesting so far. So we are waiting for the results.